It is Wednesday, April 17th. Again, I gotta pay attention. And here with update number 4 on what is going on with the camp. Got a few things I want to run through, and a couple of little piece of homework, or at least recommended listening. This is going to become a part of, I think, every one of these updates, is things that you could be better aware of to especially hang out with some of the people that are going to be there, some of our special guests. I'm sure you can guess where I'm going with this. Not sure this makes a great guitar instrumental. Anyway, who knows? It might. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. Want to get to answering a couple of questions that that came up, and a few other little recommendations and some news. Tom Varga came up with a great question about whether there was going to be any organized stuff before or afterwards, and I think there probably will be, but most of it will kind of have to be with the people that are coming and them coming up with some you know, things. Hey, let's get together on Thursday or Wednesday or Monday or something like that, or Sunday afternoon, and maybe go off, maybe catch Muriel's concert that will be Sunday night after the camp shuts down on Sunday morning at noon or so. And then of course Lenny had a great suggestion there about, let's see if we could get a tour happening of the Santa Cruz Guitar Company. I will look into that. I do have some other things I need to talk to Richard Hoover about in the next day or two, so I might have an update on that next week too. The big news is that a couple people have asked about bringing spouses or guests and who are non-guitar playing ones, and possibly staying off-site. There will be some places, there might be some places to stay nearby that we're looking into that now as well too. And I think now on the payment page there is an option to buy a day pass for somebody that would include really just use of the grounds and meals and stuff, and not necessarily the sessions, but that would be for $100 a day, and that kind of covers our costs of them being there, because we kind of get charged like by the body for folks on site. It doesn't really matter what they're doing there. So anyway, so that's one of the things that's happening. Jason asked about bringing ice chests. We will have some coolers and things there full of you know, waters and who knows what else around, but especially if you're driving, it certainly couldn't hurt if you want to have one in your room. It wouldn't hurt to have. I try to travel with one. Matter of fact, I have a small one right out there that I frequently take as a carry-on when I'm going to volleyball or softball tournaments or things like that. It's like, anyway, and just put it in the bin overhead, and sometimes I have like cameras in there and things like that. So anyway, traveling with an ice chest wouldn't be a bad idea, but not necessarily. I know you're flying already with a guitar and things like that. So let's see, what else did I want to get to about? Oh, and again, the one thing that I think we might not have had up last week, and I might have said that we did, was a little bit of info about Steve Palazzo, our other local guitar teacher, who will be helping us out with some roots style stuff, strumming maybe some Grateful Dead songs and some bluegrassy type things and things like that. So he'll be one of our guest teachers. It'll have a small session going on probably Friday morning. I think we're still kind of working out kinks in the schedule, or final details in the schedule. So let's see, I think that was most of what I wanted to talk about today, except that recommended listening. Today I'm going to go into some of the albums that I think are really, really important for you to be familiar with. And the first, actually, I've just played 2 songs from the top 2. One of them is You Gotta Have This, Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. Now, this was 1976, and things were a little bit different then, and this was a very commercial pop sounding album with incredible songs on it. So you should of course be familiar with, this is of course my autographed copy of Year of the Cat. And oh, somebody asked about Peter White versus Peter Wood. Folks, they are 2 different people. Peter White, of course, was Al's guitar player for about 15 years after this album. Peter Wood, though, was the keyboard player at the time of this album and was a co-writer of Year of the Cat. So yes, not. Anyway, that question came up on YouTube, so don't worry. Nobody probably knows what I'm talking about there. But the 3 great tunes, the 3 songs from this album that you might be familiar with, are of course the one I played at the top. there was, of course, the big hit, Year of the Cat. But another really cool one was this. Now that was Peter White playing that Spanish guitar part. That's, of course, On the Border. So 3 tunes from Year of the Cat you should be familiar with. The first one I played, by the way, was called Broadway Hotel. But really encourage you to check out that album. Now, his follow-up album 2 years later got even poppier. This is, of course, Time Passages. This is not the autographed one, but it's the original master recording. And had a song on it. Okay, may not recognize it from that because that's the lead part. I got to play that with Al a couple of times and really have enjoyed it, but that is the tune Almost Lucy that we might get to a lesson to somewhere down the line. But of course this had the big hit, Time Passages, on it, and another song that I think Al, a lot of people are kind of embarrassed by, called Song on the Radio, but so that is one he does not play in concert, but it was sort of a hit. Anyway, I do want to tell you about one more album that is unobtainium right now, unfortunately, but it is by far, well, not by far. It's absolutely one of my favorites of his. And this one's all mangled up because, of course, it's autographed too. But this was Between the Wars. I think it was 1994 probably. 3, 5, somewhere in there. Small print, can't see anymore. Featuring Laurence Juber on guitar. This was the first album he came out with after he teamed up with Laurence in the mid-90s, and just included some great songs about life in Europe, well, and the United States. A song about Charles Lindbergh, a song about Marion Davies, a song about the night train to Munich. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, something like that, a Django Reinhardt style thing. I'm gonna have to relearn that because I probably will get a chance to play it with him when he does our stuff. So if you, right now, last I checked on Amazon, that album is 99 bucks. So if you know anybody that has Al and Laurence's album, Between the Wars, get it. Fabulous. Great guitar playing and all kinds of just historical songs, about life in the world between World War I and World War II. So a lot of swing type feels and anyhow, just great. Last thing about Al. There also is a very famous poster that if you saw some of the videos, well, not famous, famous among Al fans, I guess, that is a, most of Al's songs have historical references. He writes songs about all kinds of people that you've never heard of, but when you do a little bit of research, you'll find out, some of them you will have heard of, Shackleton, things like that, Marion Davies, who I just mentioned. And there is a poster called the Sergeant Al poster available at Al's site that you may have seen over Jim Page's shoulder sitting right here. It's right up there on my wall. I'll try to put a picture of it in this post. And that has pictures of it's called the Sergeant Al poster because it's done after the of course, look of the Sgt. Pepper album. But it has pictures of a couple hundred people, all of whom are mentioned in Al's songs, and that includes really easy to recognize ones like the Beatles and Elvis and Buddy Holly and things like that, and other people that even Al doesn't know who they are. So there was a contest at Al's site to see who could name most of the people on the poster, and I don't think anybody got to all of them. I'm not sure. Again, even Al doesn't know what some of those people look like. Okay, so check out the Sergeant Al poster. That is enough. I have taken up too much of everybody's time probably today with just this, again, senseless rambling. Beautiful song, by the way, on Time Passages called End of the Day that starts off something like that. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go learn that one. I'll have it for you next week probably, because I've played that with Al as well too. But great acoustic guitar song put together by Peter White that then Al wrote lyrics to, and anyhow, it's great. So that's it. 3 albums of Al's to at least start checking out. The 2 big hits, Year of the Cat, Time Passages, and the probably the hardest one of his to find, if you can, Between the Wars. Otherwise, let me see if I had anything else I want to talk about today. No, went through it. Next week, Update 5, and with some other thoughts on, maybe we will have an answer from Richard Hoover or some of the other guitar builders that are around here that will would like to come visit us or let us come visit them. Okay, that's it. Back next week.